They say the American market is a gold mine for European entrepreneurs, but how do you stand out in the competitive landscape? I'm Christina Rubafe-Broaddus, the American Market Alchemist, and I believe that anyone can write their U.S. success story to amplify their influence and scale their impact beyond the borders of their home market. In this podcast, you'll hear inspiring stories and practical advice from American market experts and European entrepreneurs who are making an impact in the U.S. Tune in each week for a dose of motivation and tactical tips to build your influence and visibility in the world's largest market so you stand out, attract more clients, and turn your European business into American gold. Now, let's dive in. Are you underselling yourself as a European entrepreneur? American clients want confidence, and I'll show you how to pitch with certainty and win more deals. If you've ever wondered why your pitch isn't resonating with American clients, I want to give you some insights. I've helped dozens of European entrepreneurs refine their pitch, and I can tell you I've seen some bad pitches, but we've also reworked their approach so that they can do things like land 8-figure contracts with American airports or get a 36x return on the investment in the coaching that they bought with us to fix their pitch. In other words, this stuff can make a huge difference in the success of your efforts. So I want to show you why the way that you pitch matters and how adapting your approach to the cultural expectations of your American clients can be the key to unlocking your success in the US market. Now, there are 3 pillars of winning American clients with your pitch. That's confidence, clarity, and results. Now, confidence sells. When pitching to American clients, one thing has to be crystal clear from the beginning, and that is your confidence. Now, this goes beyond believing that your product or your service is great. It's really about projecting that belief. It's not saying, look how great we are. It's showing the confidence that you have in the ability of your solution to get the results. Because confidence is critical. Here's why. Americans associate confidence with competence. So if you appear unsure or hesitant that your solution will get results, your client will immediately question if you're able to deliver. Now, they may not question you outright, but in their head, there will be those doubts. Now, again, like I said, this is not about being boastful or being too over the top. Confidence doesn't mean bragging about how great you are. It's about being clear and direct about what you bring to the table. You need to show your American clients that you know what you're doing and that you've done it successfully before. Think of it this way. When you walk into a meeting and you say, well, I think we might be able to deliver on that, your client will be hesitant to trust you. But if you say, we've done this before, and here's exactly how we'll achieve the result that you're looking for, the client is much more likely to buy into what you're offering. And even if you're not 100% sure, you want to project that confidence in your ability to figure it out and deliver the value that you're promised. So here's a quick exercise for you on this. Practice saying your pitch out loud. Record yourself and get a transcription of the recording. Now, when you're listening, in your intonation, are there any points where you sound uncertain? Looking at the transcript, do you find phrases like, I think, maybe, hopefully, could, and just cut those out. Work on your pitch again and replace all of that with more assertive language. And next time that you're pitching, really make the effort to remove all of that hedging language, that softening language, and see how your confidence transforms your delivery. It's amazing how much This little shift can change how much people perceive you. You also want to lead with numbers. So let's talk about what Americans really care about: results. If you take one thing away from this video, it's this: lead with numbers. American clients are ROI driven. They want a return on investment. They want to know from the start what's in it for them. Because yes, they're willing to spend money, but they want to get a return on that investment. Now, in a lot of markets here in Europe, the process of relationship building may take time. And you might get into the numbers maybe towards the end of the discussion. But in the US, you really want to flip that on its head, because American clients, they want proof up front. They don't want you to waste their time and then they find out at the end that the numbers are all wrong, or the price is wrong, or whatever. They want to see the numbers that justify that they should trust you and spend this time with you to know a little bit more about what you do and how you do it. Now, whether that is those numbers are return on investment, cost savings, revenue growth, price, some other tangible number, don't be afraid to talk numbers. I mean, let's say that you are pitching marketing services to an American client. If you spend the first 15 minutes of your meeting, your sales meeting, talking about the creative process, about how your team collaborates, about, your dozens of years of experience or whatever, you're missing the mark. They do want to know that stuff, but it's not the most important, so you don't want to put it up front. They want to hear something more like, our campaigns increase brand awareness by 45% and drive a 30% increase in revenue within 6 months on average. And that is just showing them very concretely what you're going to get, what they're going to get from you. And I guarantee that will get their attention. Let me give you an example from a client that I worked with a couple of years ago. So I was working with this person and they were struggling to close the deals in the US. They were getting the meetings, but then it was never going further than the first couple of meetings. And so we sat down and we did a role play. I said, all right, I'm your client. Let's do, pitch me. Tell me what you do. Sell me your thing. And we ended up really completely reworking their pitch so that instead of talking about the features, the services, all of that, we focused on the numbers right up front. And they started leading their pitch with something like, before our clients were spending an average of $500K per month on operating expenses. After just 3 months of working with us, they were saving $100K each month. And in 6 months, we saved them more than $600,000. And this process has worked for 24 companies in 24 different industries. So I'm confident that we can get you similar results. Would you like to know how? And guess what? Just changing that structure, how they led into their pitch, that actually led to, and I'm not making this number up, a 50% increase in further appointments to discuss details of signing contracts. So the takeaway from that is show your numbers up front, because they'll be much more likely to listen to what you have to say later. So here's a little tip that you can take action on right now. I want you to look at your pitch and start looking to see how can you incorporate some numbers on results, whatever. Now, if you don't have these numbers yet, go back and look at the work that you've done in the past, or start collecting data now so that you can start adding these numbers into your pitch. Basically, anything that shows the concrete results that you have delivered for your clients. Now, don't worry if your pitch is not perfect, or if you don't have millions in revenue to grow. We don't often need big numbers. We just need numbers that show that it's worth working with you. And like I said, what matters is that you can demonstrate that you can create impact on their business or solve their problem. So even small improvements like, I don't know, reducing the time spent on tasks by 10%, that's still valuable because you can show them what they can gain or what they can do with the savings of time or money that they'll have with you. Now, the third thing is simplify, simplify, simplify. Let's talk about simplicity. Now, if there is one thing that American clients value, it is clarity. They want to know in the simplest terms, what is the problem that you solve and how do you solve it? And when pitching to US clients, very often less is more. Now, this is perhaps one of the biggest areas where I've seen European entrepreneurs fall into a trap. You've got this amazing product or service. You want to showcase every feature, every benefit, every little detail of how you created it and maybe the technology that goes into it and how it's innovative and all of this stuff. But for American clients, and honestly, I think perhaps for a lot of just clients in general, too much information is overwhelming and it can cause them to lose interest fast. So I'll share a personal story with you to illustrate this point. So I was at a tech trade show and I come up to a guy on his booth and I say, hey, I'm just curious, tell me what you do. And after this long explanation of, I don't even know, like embedded systems, blockchain, I'm just throwing all sorts of jargon out there. I'll be honest, I was totally lost. I had no idea what they did or what purpose it served. But I said, all right, I'm going to keep digging and I want to see how long it takes me to actually understand what this company does. And after about 15 minutes, I finally figured out that they made curtains that generate electricity using micro solar panels. So, imagine if the guy had led his description with something like, we make solar powered curtains that can save you 20% on your electricity bill and make your living room prettier. Now that is something that grabs my attention. I probably would have said, show me your catalog. I want to see these curtains because I want to put them in my living room. But in the end, I was just like, all right, finally, I get it. And he was like, yeah, I know it's complex. And I was like, it's not that it's complex. It's just, we need to work on your pitch. So here's a simple rule that I tell my clients. Imagine you are explaining your product or your service like you are talking to a 7-year-old. Now, if a 7-year-old can understand what you do, you're on the right track. I mean, American clients, they don't have the time or honestly a lot of the patience to listen to the jargon, the layers of complexity. They just want to know how you're going to help them, why it matters to them, and to know that as fast as possible. So if you are pitching to an American client, you can try this exercise. Take your pitch as it is today and really reduce it to the bare essentials and use the simplest language possible. I mean, heck, use ChatGPT to help you with this. Put your pitch in and say, can you rewrite this at the English level of a 7-year-old child and see what it comes up with. And then you can work on that and focus on one solution or one part of your service or your product and try to explain that, try to get comfortable explaining that as simply as possible. Because, for example, instead of saying something like, we leverage cutting edge AI technology to optimize workflows, I think I've seen that on a website somewhere. Try saying, we automate your admin tasks to help you get your work done faster and more efficiently. It's even better if you can put some numbers in that promise. And I guarantee you, clarity wins every time. So just to recap, when you are pitching to your American clients, it's all about confidence, results, and simplicity. Show that you believe in your offer and back it up, support it with numbers, and keep it all just simple and straightforward. And these little shifts will make a huge difference in how your pitch is received. So if you have found these tips helpful and you are ready to start closing more deals in the US market or winning over with your pitch, I want to invite you to come and join me in my next Transatlantic Entrepreneur Workshop, where we will dive even deeper into how to refine your pitch, position your value, and win over those American clients. So the link to save your spot is in the notes below this episode. And like I said, we're going to take your business across the Atlantic, help you become the go-to reference in your industry for your American clients. And I just want to say to you, thank you for making it to the end of this episode. Final words, I just want to say, be bold, stand out, and together, let's show the world what you're all about. Thanks for listening to the American Market Alchemist podcast. If you're ready to amplify your influence and scale your impact in the U.S. market, become a member of my newsletter community. You'll get weekly tips on LinkedIn strategy, personal branding, and digital marketing to write your U.S. success story. The link to get the newsletter is in the show notes. I'm Christina Robafé Broaddus, and I'll talk to you next time.